Imagine a world in which the entire pharmaceutical industry is a thing of the past. No more pills or injections, over-the-counter medicines to prescription-only drugs, all well on their way to being forgotten. All you have to do to solve nearly every single known health issue is just take one pill. Inside this pill are larvae which will eventually grow into tapeworms. These will hatch once entering your body and set up camp in your intestine for about a decade or so. These are not ordinary parasitic worms. They are genetically engineered tapeworms, their DNA crafted to each and every human, a bespoke healthcare system all contained within the intestine. It's programmed to secrete certain chemicals into the bloodstream as and when they're needed, destroying the need to ever have to swallow a pill or inject medication ever again. Insulin injections, allergy pills and antihistamines, antibiotics and contraceptives, all gone. Now, anyone who's consumed anything sci-fi is probably starting to imagine all the ways in which this could go terribly, terribly wrong, and that when things sound too good to be true, they usually are. This is a world that Mira Grant has created in her Parasitology series, a science fiction trilogy set a few decades in the future that follow a 26-year-old woman called Sal, who puts herself in a unique position to get to the bottom of a strange epidemic, where the parasitic implants are thought to be the cause of the mysterious sleeping sickness. They lead to respiratory issues and even changes in brain chemistry. But as she soon learns, if you ask the questions, best be sure you want to know. These questions about what it means to be human and making attempts to improve our experience on this planet are at the core of the human experience. Which then leads on to the discovery of CRISPR. In short, it was a discovery made after observing the way that some bacteria reacted to attack from viral infection. Its discovery was revolutionary as it allows us to make precise, targeted changes in the DNA of living things. Soon, conversations would start to lead in many directions, stemming from the immense control that these new techniques gave us. Scientists at Cornell University in the States found a way of editing the genes in butterflies to actually repaint their wings. Scientists at MIT found ways to make changes to mosquito populations to effectively eradicate malaria. These discoveries give us the power to change the biosphere, revolutionize society as we know it. Scientists around the world have even theorized all kinds of alterations to human DNA, alterations that are relatively simple to make, should you have the right kind of knowledge, skills and equipment, and the possibilities are quite endless, depending on the perspective. Some have suggested that this technology should be used to save our dying and damaged planet. What if we could edit the genomics of coral reefs to make them stronger and more resistant to damage? Edit the genes of certain trees to make them more able to adapt to our changing climate. Then, of course, comes the discussion on designer babies, where parents can not only learn about the characteristics of their future baby, but also edit its genome as they see fit. Few have alluded to the possible creation of special soldiers who will be able to fight with bravery and courage, who won't experience fear or pain. The time has come where we have the ability and power to engineer the human race. But with these exciting advances comes risk. We have to consider the chances of creating problems that can't be put back in a test tube. Now, Special Forces soldiers made immune to torture. Is that evil? Are any of the technologies inherently good or evil? Arguably, they are simply tools that provide power. It's the use of said tools that determines the results, and maybe not the tools themselves. We have a responsibility to use human ingenuity and skills carefully, as these skills and discoveries are power. The guidelines for use of that power are now what need to be determined, because humans have used these skills before, particularly in the food we eat, the life forms we eat. Corn used to be grass, tomatoes small bitter berries. It was human ingenuity and curiosity that resulted in sophisticated agriculture that then went on to form the basis of human society. But is this an oversimplification? We have to remember that the relationship between our genes and our environment is incredibly complex. Now, arguably, what we can do is an insignificant fraction of what nature has already done. Nature invented CRISPR. It was first observed in a bacterial cell. We hijacked the process to replicate it in other life forms. All in all, it's clear that we as a race should have some humility in front of nature. But where do we draw the line? What is the line? Is it a selective filter or a barricade? And if there is to be a line, who gets to draw it? So, how much is too much and how far is too far? And just because we can do something, does it really mean that we should?